That's how you do it, yeah. Yeah.
Oh wait, this was so much weight. I don't even know if that's oh well.
What, do you want me to?
Doesn't matter.
It's not much weight, is it, to be fair?
No.
Hey, how's we doing? Y'all okay out there? I'm gonna park somewhere else actually. Let's go park somewhere else. Not really feeling that spot. Boop, boop. Fuck. It's a nice and sunny day out today. So what better to do than bring up my past? It's gonna fix my seat. It's really good to talk about your stuff and hopefully help the next man. I heard the other day, which is kind of conflicted because it's almost from the same guy. Well, it was from the same guy. If you go through life always just about yourself, that's a waste of a life. And it kind of got to me a bit. But then also, you're number one though. You got to take care of yourself. But I guess if you can't take care of yourself, then how are you going to take care of someone else? So maybe that's what it's all about. You got to make sure you're okay. And if you are okay, then you're able to take care of other people. So, all right. Maybe I answered my own question. Yeah, let's talk about my life. How about you? I'll let you know pretty much everything that's happened in my life. And then how I turned it around and how the gym is pretty much my sanctuary for my mental space. And yeah, how that helps me cope. So let's get on. So I was born a long time ago in the year 1994. That was forever ago. Pretty much my first memory is when my parents got divorced. I was 2 years old. I was at a play or some sort of get together for a church that I was involved in. They don't call it a church, but it's a church. And I knew something was wrong. Kind of feel like I've got like a sixth sense in knowing when something's wrong. But when I got home, my parents were fighting. I was in a little teddy bear outfit because I was in a play. I think I was in the play. Pretty sure I was involved in the play. And then when I got home, they were fighting, and then my mom was gone. And I'm not sure exactly how much longer until I saw her again. Maybe it was quick. I don't know. I was 2 years old. I just remember them getting a divorce. The beginning of the end, as you will. And then my dad met my stepmother, who ended up being extremely abusive, verbally, physically. My brother once had bruises all up and down his back from her whooping him. She loved this one belt, this metal studded belt. That was her favorite one. That's one that I remember. That one left the most damage. And then I do remember her going, and we had to pick which belt that we wanted to be whooped with. And I don't know this lady. She just came into my life, and now she's beating the shit out of me. And my mom left, and you know, that hurt too. And then she would call my dad up at work if we were acting up, and then my dad would come home, no questions asked, just come into my room, slam the door, and start wailing on us. So you know, yelled from stepmother while dad was at work, and then my dad would come home and beat the shit out of us. I mean, we were kids, but you know, I don't think that was deserved. You know, I did some messed up stuff as a kid, but you know, they weren't really there for us, I feel. You know, my brother got bad grades, but they didn't help us with homework or anything. And then I remember my brother was doing poorly in school, and then my dad chucked his saxophone across the room into the wall. And you know, stuff like that will kind of mess you up. And then, or no, I did something, and And then my dad just like banged my head up against the wall, just bam, 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 bam. This is getting somewhere. Just ride it out. We're gonna get somewhere in the end. Just listen, okay? We're gonna. This all comes. There's a purpose for all of this. Yeah, my dad came home, and I was laying on the bed. He just picked me up off of the bed and just bam, bam, bam into the bed. And you know, this shit needs to be talked about. Sorry if you guys are watching. You know, me and my father are working on our relationship now. I feel like, and you know, things are better. And yeah, I've just really, you know, it was, you know, I felt so shit as a kid. I put a little note in the window that said, "Please help." And oh, sorry. When you feel like that as a child, it's not good. It's real good, and then your family says you're fucked up. You're getting bullied at school for being different because my parents were Jehovah's Witnesses, so you couldn't like salute the flag or celebrate birthdays or hang out with friends. Um, so, you know, pretty much forced to be a loner and really hard to make friends now as an adult because of that. Cards I was dealt. Pretty much raised to fail, really, because they're about the world's gonna end any day now, so there's no point in doing anything, go to college or any of that. I've been to college now, but yeah, they're just like, the world's gonna end any day. You don't need any friends because they're not gonna be in the new world, and their bad association spoils useful habits. So being around kids at school would apparently mess me up. And then I'd visit my mom on the holidays, so you know, I was a bit different from the kids in the cult because I had that outside influence, so they didn't like me either. So you know, it was all fucked. Abused at home, bullied at school. Thought something was wrong with me, which I still struggle with that as an adult. 30 years old. But yeah, my brother left early, and he did his own thing, and then you know, life was a little bit better, but then it wasn't better. Stepmom was still the same. Oh yeah, I finally, after my brother moved in with my mom one Christmas, I'm like, oh, can I please move in with you now? And by the time I moved in with my mom, sorry mom if you're watching this, about a year prior, or no, must have been a few months prior, my mother was brutally raped. She got all of her shit cut up. I don't know all the details, of course. That's kind of, you know. But at one point, her mouth was wired shut from the damage. And she had a lot of pills, a lot of medication. A little bit hard to talk about. I'm a little bit worried to talk about this kind of stuff because I don't want to. But, you know, that happened. And she was on a lot of medication. So I'm not sure if it was at first, maybe I stole the medication from her, but then she'd also give me pills as well. And then that escalated into, you know, I stole from her, but she was giving me pills. But then that turned into her, you know, she freaked out a couple times, like, you're stealing my medication. Why are you stealing my medication? And then also, yeah, my mom and my stepfather, they're the first ones to give me, like, cigarettes and stuff. And I was about 15 or 16 at the 15 when it first started. A lot of pills, and those are making me feel good. I've gone to therapy, and one therapist kind of said maybe it was because, you know, she's my mother, and some really bad shit had just happened. That'll put anybody in a bad mental space, so I don't blame her for the road that my life went down. A mother wants to show that wants to care for you, wants to show you love, and there was no other way she could at the time. And maybe she knew that I was in pain, and so yeah, before school she'd give me some pills sometimes, and then I'd take them to school and I'd crush them on the toilet seat in the bathroom, and then I started snorting them. Um, and so the pills were feeling really good. So one of my friends said, "Oh, I've got some H, some brown, some puddle of mud," and shot that up for the first time when I was 16. And at first I kind of freaked out. I ended up calling my father again, like, "Oh, I'm on drugs." Some other shit happened at school, and I kind of just wanted to run away from it all. And kind of I beat myself up for a long time, just like, oh, I ran away from that. I ran away from home. I ran away from some other stuff that I'll talk about soon. But I'm not a runaway. I'm not that I'm a survivor. So if anyone out there feels like, a bitch for running away from a certain situation, you're not. You're a survivor. The human mind will do anything to survive any situation. It's just to keep us alive. Some shit went down there. I did steal some booze from one of my uncles, and he said, "That fucking freak stole beer from me," or something like that. And that uncle is an absolute piece of shit. He's just a freaking weirdo. Living in his parents' basement. Can't stand that guy. But and so that went down. So then I think, oh yeah, I lived with my mom for a little bit longer. I think my story's all kind of, I moved around a lot. I lived down in Florida for a little bit, doing some rehabilitation. Went to Chicago. Oh, that's what the first one I went to, I think, was in Chicago. So yeah, just kind of moved around everywhere. Bish bosh boosh. Did the whole rehab thing. That didn't work out at first, but stick through that. Rehab definitely helps. 100%. 12-step program. I did that. Oh, what happened after that? My brother was part of a motorcycle club for a little bit, and I'm not gonna say any names or anything like that, but I ended up prospecting or being a hang around to prospect. I forget hang around to prospect for this motorcycle club. And then I was also friends with a guy that belonged to the AB. I'll let you search that up, see if you can find out what that abbreviation is. He ended up moving in with me. He was living with my brother, and some shit went down, and then I had to let him move in with me. Really bad mistake. Ended up selling goods, selling products on the street for a little bit, just trying to survive, man. I didn't know up from down, left from right. And at homeless shelters. I did I forget what they're called. Another like non-profit thing. Lived there for a little while, folding clothes, but it was kind of nice. Sometimes they put money up in the pockets, and you just search the pockets, and some days you make like $100, and it was really cool. And then get your cigarettes and some food. So yeah, that actually wasn't a horrible experience living there. Salvation Army. That's where I lived for a little bit. Did all that, graduated from there, played some music, some guitar for the they have like a band. So they heard me playing guitar one night, and they're like, "Oh, we want you to play." So I got to play guitar. And then I also played the drums a little bit. So yeah, that was a decent experience. Met some good people there, some really good people there. And then back to the AB guy and his girlfriend. She fell for an online thing. She went to go send some money off, and they were gonna give her money back. Freaking idiot. She fell for it. So we needed to meet up with a guy from another motorcycle club, Not gonna say what they are. Some shit went down, and I had a Toyota Camry, and I ended up going down the highway about 120 miles an hour trying to get away from these guys. Totally destroyed my Toyota Camry. You got like the highway, both sides of the highway. There's a little median in the middle. I ended up like drifting through there a couple times to go the other way, and one of the times I must have gotten away by this time because I went into the median area. I got about that high off of the ground with a Toyota Camry. Broke the front axle, broke something in there, and the car was totally fucked. I was really high on a bunch of stuff at this time, so I parked my Camry somewhere, thankfully, because I'm pretty sure the cops were looking for me at this time, looking for a Camry, going totally crazy. Because when I was walking down the road, and I was on the whole other side of the state at this time from where I needed to go back home, and ended up like walking along the highway, a few highways. I hitchhiked a little bit, and yeah, that found like a little crevice in there, and I tuckered down, tried to sleep in there, couldn't sleep. I think I was totally gone. I thought people were watching me and blah 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 blah. So I got out of there and walked along the highway, hitchhiked a little bit. One guy I ended up hitchhiking with, he stopped off, and he ended up buying a big duffel bag of guns. So, and he looked over at me and he said, "You better not tell anybody this." Um, and yeah, I forget how old I was here, still pretty young. And then another guy ended up driving me. He ended up giving me about $50. He said, well, I asked him, I stopped at a gas station asking for a ride. I was almost home. Took me like a day and a half to hitchhike back home. And he's like, do you have any drugs on you? And I'm like, no. This really nice kid, he must have been the same age as me, maybe a little bit older, a couple years older than me. But when he dropped me off, he gave me 50 quid. He said, don't use this on drugs, get yourself some food. And so yeah, I ended up getting home, still freaking out. It was either, oh, sorry if that was all a bit all over the place. It's a little bit tough to talk about this stuff. It was either jump off my roof of my building or get some help. So if anyone is suicidal out there, just ask for help. I myself, I have tried to commit suicide millions of times. I can't die. I've overdosed on drugs 7 times. One of those including I popped a bunch of pills at my mom's house. That was the first time I overdosed, trying to kill myself. Got a Roman numeral 7 here on my arm. That's to remind me, I guess, how many times I've overdosed. Like, my heart has actually stopped 7 times, and I can't go. So hopefully there's a reason for that. I don't know. But just get some help. So I searched online for help. First website clicked on, called them. They ended up flying me out to California, and that's where I consider my home for sure. I lived there for quite a while, and I got some help there. Really turned my life around. I relapsed a couple times, worked at this little farm shop for a little bit. The guy there ended up giving me drugs. One of the guys there had some drugs, and freaked out a little bit at that job, and kicked out. Before I was homeless shelter, I lived on the streets a bit, lived in my car for a little while, and then also in California, slept on the roads, just not coming to grasp with that I had a big major problem. So it took me a long time to figure that out, and I will never, today, I will not use any drugs. So made it out to California, turned my life around. Met a lady when I was at a very, very low point in my life, and David Goggins said it best. He met someone, and when you meet someone, when you're at a low, when you're low, you're gonna meet someone who is also low. And it worked out way longer than it should have. We did have a baby together, and in California, and she's from England, and baby, she wanted to be around family. So, you know, my story, I didn't really have much in terms of family around where I was living at. And so I'm like, yeah, got nothing to lose. And now I'm in England. I just became really tired of she just controlling. I'm not going to talk too much about her on here, but things didn't work out. And so we got divorced. But now I can't see my son either. And and you know, I moved out here for them, and now I'm alone out here. I raised him. I was a stay-at-home father, and now I can't even see him. As I've said, I've been through a lot, and but you know what? I'm pushing through. I go to the gym as much as I can, trying to become a bodybuilder, and I've got a really nice girlfriend who's really helped me through. I had surgery recently, and she was there every day at the hospital for about a week, over a week. We were there for a while, and I had to take some time off of work, and I got really in my brain, and she's still with me now. Back to work this week. But you know, all this shit that's happened, you know, it's there's positives throughout it all. There really is. You know, I do have a hard time making friends because of my childhood, and then also I've been through a lot, and I don't feel like I can relate with mostly everyone. It's really hard for me to relate with anyone, or for anyone to relate with me. You know, everyone's got their parents, and you know, have really good cards they were dealt. And where the fuck were my cards? I have no cards. But I'm still playing my hand. Definitely gonna. I'm definitely wanting to become international bodybuilding champion, and that's my goal right now. I don't know if my story has helped anyone. I'm still going strong. You know, I've got a flat. I've got food. I've eaten a buttload of food just now. I got an Xbox. I've got a TV. I've got heating I can turn on sometimes because I gotta save money. Can't spend it all on heat. You know, I've got a bed. I've got a roof over my head. You know, there is positives to look at. I should be dead. 100% I should be dead. But here we are. My heart's flatlined 7 times. I've literally been chased to be murdered. Seen some crazy shit out on the streets. Really, really bad people. I'm not going to get into all of it. You know, you can read between the lines. You can imagine what I saw in Salvation Army, or the homeless shelters, or living out on the street. But you know, we're still fucking alive, man. And there's still, you know, there's still shit that I can do. I really, you know, want to help the next guy get through it. You know, so that's my story. I'm still going strong, bodybuilding. You know, got the shirt. I will, and I definitely will. But yeah, it's a nice sunny day. I don't know if I just kind of rambled on, but there's my story. And you know, there's everyone's struggling out there. Some people are just struggling more than others. But still see positives out there. I'm still going forward. I'm still going strong. So if anyone out there sees this and wants to talk, I'm more than happy to talk to you. You can search for me on Instagram, Hudson Tackett is my Instagram. The newer one. There's an older one with like woodworking and stuff. It's the other one with me shirtless. Shoot me a DM. Yeah, I just keep going, man. You got this. No matter what, don't give up. Just keep going. I'm really working on staying in the moment. Not worrying, not living in the past, not living in the future. Just just live in the now. And just be positive. It's really hard to be positive with a lot of situations. If I didn't, in all those little situations I was in, if I didn't have a glimpse of hope or belief or any of those little words you can use, I wouldn't be here today. I just had that little thought in the back of my head, like, it's gonna get better. So for you, if you're watching this and going through some shit, you know, try to stay positive. It's difficult. If there's anyone that you can ask for help, ask them. There's some moments there where I didn't have anyone, or I didn't think there was anyone, but with all the shit growing up with my father was always there. He was. He helped save my life in the end. He really did. So hopefully he's watching still this far. Yeah, keep going, keep pushing, stay strong, and love ya. See ya.